In the top stories, government agencies undergo training to combat national threats. Trinidad and Tobago to end state of emergency on Wednesday, and Muammar Gaddafi's son runs for president. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Monday, the 15th of November 2021. I'm Jason Davis. Nationally, representatives of government agencies are taking part in a week-long Foundation Intelligence Analyses training course at the Customs and Excise Department conference room. According to National Security Advisor, retired Major General Stuart Saunders, the goal is to train personnel from various government agencies such as National Security, Finance, and Health to work together to address threats that come to our shores.
So this morning's activity revolves around what is called a Foundation Intelligence Analysis course, right, or analysis training course, which basically assists persons in coming together, working together in order to achieve what is necessary as far as solving issues are concerned, the way in which information is handled, the way in which information is transformed into intelligence, and the way in which the products are therefore used thereafter.
He said training such as this is necessary as the factors that threaten larger countries are still a reality for smaller nations like St. Kitts and Nevis.
So you're talking about drug trafficking, corruption, money laundering on one side, the criminal side. You're talking about climate change. You're talking about disasters which we're accustomed to over time, natural disasters, hurricanes, that sort of a thing. Food and water security are part and parcel of the whole plethora of threats that impact us. So anything you read, for argument's sake, or hear about in the media as a threat to a particular nation is also very much a threat to us here in the Federation. Threats are global.
The featured speaker was Attorney General the Honorable Vincent Byron. The course is described as a critical component in the fulfillment of the national security strategy and the Federation's achievement of a national security infrastructure. Major General Saunders said after this workshop they hope to have the infrastructure more integrated than before, emphasizing greater interaction and teamwork between departments. St. Kitts and Nevis will welcome 10 cruise calls this week, berthing at Port Zante, South Friars Bay. On Monday, Britannia will berth at Port Zante. On Tuesday, Aida Perla, Explorer of the Seas, and Celebrity Equinox will berth at Port Zante. On Wednesday, Celebrity Constellation and Rotterdam will berth at Port Zante. On Thursday, Allure of the Seas will also berth at Port Zante, and Friday, Celebrity Silhouette will berth at Port Zante, while Seabourn Odyssey will dock at South Friars Bay. On Saturday, Silver Whisper will berth at Port Zante. In other news, local chef Dion Williams, better known as Chef Gary of Gary's Catering, will prepare the national dish of St. Kitts and Nevis for a luncheon on the country's National Day on November 16 during Expo 2020 in Dubai. The luncheon will be held at Farrago Restaurant. The menu for the national dish will comprise saltfish and coconut dumplings, sautéed breadfruit, spicy fried plantain, and goat water. Chef Gary was quoted as saying, "I think it's a great opportunity for me to be at Expo 2020, having worked in the industry for 35 years. I will do my best and make sure the dish is presented as it should be presented. I want to thank Dorietta Freites, Chair of the Local Organizing Committee for Expo 2020, for affording me the opportunity to be here and to represent my country." End quote. St. Kitts and Nevis' National Day ceremony will include a flag-raising ceremony and playing of the national anthems of both St. Kitts and Nevis and the UAE, an official speech by Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, and an official speech by a UAE representative, cultural performances by masquerades from both St. Kitts and Nevis, a performance by soca artist Deli Ranks, a tour of St. Kitts and Nevis and UAE pavilions, a country media briefing, a bilateral meeting, official dinner and gift exchange, among other activities. We now move to news on the regional scene. Trinidad and Tobago's state of emergency, which was instituted in May of this year, will end on Wednesday, November 17, but some public health regulations remain. TTT News has the details.
So on Wednesday, the Parliament will meet and we will discontinue the state of emergency and we continue to manage the vaccinated population and the unvaccinated population under the Public Health Ordinance.
Although scheduled to end on November 29th, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said the country's state of emergency is no longer necessary, but the population must still abide by the laws under the Public Health Ordinance, such as wearing masks. Dr. Rowley also announced that public gatherings will remain at 10, but public fetes and parties will be prohibited. Non-religious indoor events, christenings and weddings can continue with 50% capacity. Public transport will also remain at 75% and all border arrangements will remain in place. While church services will remain at 90 minutes, the capacity at the services and at gravesites have increased.
At the church, you can have 50% occupancy at the church for mourners, but at the graveside, 25 persons at the graveside.
Dr. Rowley said bars, restaurants and cinemas will continue to operate as safe zones with 50% capacity, but there will be no public consumption of alcohol. He also announced pools as a new safe zone area.
There are a number of persons for whom the therapy at public pools is something that is very important for their health. We will allow public pools to be used by vaccinated persons.
Dr. Rowley also hinted at the possibility of reopening beaches before the year ends for those who need aquatherapy.
I'm hoping that before Christmas, we should be able to go back into the beach environment with some kind of restrictions. In fact, well before Christmas, I would say that maybe we could start with some morning opening up.
By lifting the SOE, Dr. Rowley said the police will enforce the laws under the Public Health Ordinance. Kimberly D'Souza, TTT News.
Small business operators and fisher folk in the fishing village of Port Royal have been greatly impacted due to the extended power outage. Loss of revenue while incurring additional expense, that is what small business operators in the Port Royal community have been experiencing for the past 5 days. Here's more.
Revenue while incurring additional expense. That's what small business operators in the Port Royal community have been experiencing for the past 5 days.
It costs us more because we have to be buying fuel every day to run the generator and buy throughout the day. We have to be closing off earlier because it gets darker sooner, knowing that it's Christmas season. So we're losing sale there because you have separate and apart from those that live in the community that buys, you have people that comes into the community, whether they come to Glory or just come sightseeing or whatever, they'll come by to buy. So we're losing sales there. When we lose sale, we also lose commission, right? Because we base our thing, it's based off commission. Whatever you sell, that's whatever you're getting. So we're losing there, and then it's costing us more to buy fuel to operate the business.
The milk them spoil, the peanut punch and all of that, and then now with the liquor now, once it get hot, you know, you can't sell that, but that will hurt people belly, you know. And so, you know, you just have to discard them. And so, yeah, and then now, you know, yeah, you're losing from the product itself, and then you're losing sales as well.
The operators in the small town may very well have to endure another dark night as the utility company JPS works to restore the electricity. And as for the fisher folk, their livelihood have been halted completely as they say the ice being provided is not enough to preserve their daily catch.
When they come, they want to give us 50 ice and split it. We say, no, keep that. And other people, they say they bring it for fishermen, and other people getting a whole heap. 25 ice can carry to P-jar, and one was banked for ice fish. We're bringing for you guys to eat. You understand? So I mean, if you're carrying ice to the fishermen, you carry ice to the fishermen.
Robian Williams for C.
Internationally, the son of late Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi appeared for nearly the first time in a decade on Sunday to register as a presidential candidate for a December vote planned to help end the years of chaos since his father was toppled. Reuters reports.
The son of late Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi made a rare appearance in public on Sunday to run for president. Saif al-Islam al-Gaddafi appeared in an electoral commission video to sign documents at the election centre in the southern town of Sebha. He is one of the most prominent and controversial figures expected to run for president in the vote next month. The vote was planned to help end years of chaos since a NATO-backed uprising destroyed the Gaddafi regime. Saif al-Islam has barely been seen for a decade. The only public sight of him in Libya since he was captured during the fighting in 2011 was when he appeared via video link before a Tripoli court that sentenced him to death for war crimes. Despite the ruling, he never left the mountainous Zintan region and his captors allowed him to walk free. The Gaddafi era is still remembered by many Libyans as one of harsh autocracy. Although he has support in former Gaddafi strongholds, analysts say Saif al-Islam may not prove to be a frontrunner. With less than 6 weeks to go, the rules in the election are still being contested. Gaddafi's formal registration may also cast new questions over the election.
Pre-Columbian remains were unearthed in Peru. Chan Chan was a citadel of the Chimu culture which prospered between the years 900 and 1450 AD before falling to the Incas. Euronews has more.
The remains of 25 pre-Columbian people have been discovered in an ancient mass grave in Peru. Dozens of ceramic vessels and objects were also found by archaeologists in a tomb at Chan Chan, which is 500 kilometers north of the capital Lima. The actual tomb was discovered about 3 weeks ago, and the skeletons of mainly young women and children and some men were almost intact. Experts say there's no evidence these people were human sacrifices, but could be part of the elite Chimu. Chan Chan was a citadel of the Chimu culture, which prospered between the years 900 and 1450 before falling to the Incas. The citadel has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1986, and it's on the list of World Heritage in danger.
And now for the weather. Present weather is partly cloudy skies with nearby showers. Winds are a gentle breeze of 9 miles per hour from an easterly direction. The temperature for today is 31 degrees Celsius or 87 degrees Fahrenheit. Seas are moderate with waves of 4 to 6 feet. The weather forecast for today is mostly sunny this afternoon. Weather tonight will be fair to partly cloudy with a 40% or moderate chance of brief passing showers. Sunset today will be at 5:35 p.m., sunrise tomorrow at 6:15 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jason Davis.